just cannot talk enough about how wonderful this is. It is wonderful. Wonderful. Let me tell you, there's a distractor in the house. There's one that says, "Ooh, please, pick me up, knit me, knit me, knit me." That's not very long. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa, and this is Melissa Knits for Fun. Well, guys, this week, I don't have anything finished. However, like a crazy woman, because 5 active whips were not enough, I have cast on two more projects. I will tell you a little bit more about them a little bit later, but let's start today with what I'm wearing. And guys, it is cold. Oh my word, we are in for a huge snowstorm. This releases on Saturday. And so Saturday, we should really be in the midst of this storm. They're calling for up to a foot of snow. And it is supposed to be really, really cold with real temps of negative numbers. We get this usually once a year or so. Last year, I think it kind of skipped us, but usually January, February, we get some really, really cold temps. So I am so excited about this, that I have this wonderful sweater to wear. And I really didn't know how much use I was going to get out of it. It is made out of let lopy, and I've got some kind of fuzz on my face, but it was made out of let lopy. And so I was like, oh, this is kind of itchy. I can do it next to skin. It is not a soft yarn. It's kind of pokey and itchy, but I will tell you, I wore this on Monday and I was freezing. It was so cold. It wasn't as cold outside. I wound up having to change, but in my house is very well insulated. So it was just, it was really cold. I had the heat set to a certain degree, and that's what it kept it at. It didn't go any higher. You know, it was really good. But I like to keep my house cold, and when it is cold outside, it feels colder in here, even though it's the temperature I set it to. So Monday, I was really, really cold, and so I was wearing this. And one thing I noticed about this yarn, and this kind of shocked me, it's still not soft as silk, like Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit says, but it was not pokey and itchy when I was cold. So it was perfectly fine. And like right now, it's not really pokey and itchy. Yes, I can feel it. And I feel it more on my arms than I do up here in my chest area. But it's not really, I mean, if you're cold, this yarn is not really itchy and pokey. I do not understand it. There's some kind of voodoo going on in this yarn. But that is how it is. So I have actually worn it quite a bit this week, and I expect I'm going to wear it a lot more because temperatures are just plunging. And by Friday afternoon and evening, we're supposed to start with snow, and then, like I said, get down into those negative numbers. So I expect to wear this more, and I guess I should actually tell you what it is and what who the designer is. So this was a test knit from last year, and this is the Elk Head sweater, or I think it may have been called the Elk Ridge. And it is by Amanda Rush. Brave, brave woman. This was her very first design. Not only did she say, you know what, I'm going to do this color work as my first design, I'm going to do it bottom up, which is a little bit more of a complex, you know, design, because you have to do your sleeves, then you have to put them together, and then you have to do all this. I'm just going to do all the things. And I love it. It is beautiful. The only thing is I did mess up on the length of my sleeves, as you can tell. If I really, you know, put this on right, I got extra sleeve here. However, and I keep saying, I'm going to do some sweater surgery. However, on Monday, when I was freezing, I loved having these really long sleeves because I could pull them down, and I was sitting there knitting, and the only thing that was out was my little fingers as I was knitting, and I was so cozy and warm. So I haven't quite decided whether I am actually going to shorten the sleeves or not. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that I should? I mean, I know there's a lot of extra fabric, right? You can absolutely see there's extra fabric. When I pull them down, the shoulders go down, the yoke goes down. What do y'all think? Should I do some sweater surgery, or should I just leave it as it is? I am really on the fence. I don't know how much I'll wear this out and about, right? We only get about a month or so of really cold weather, so it doesn't give me a whole lot of time to wear it. But man, I'm telling you, it is much softer than I expected it to be. I'm really warming up to this yarn. Doesn't mean I'm going to make everything in it, but I might make something else in it because I really am enjoying this yarn. I really think that it worked out really nice and it feels really nice to wear. All right, so moving right along. As I said, I have no finished objects, but I have some updates on my test knits. I'll tell y'all a little bit about my visit with Didgie because we had an absolutely wonderful time, and I gave my brother his sweater. And so I've got pictures of that. I've got a little video as well. He's so funny. He was like, okay, I'll do the video for you. So I'll throw all of that up at the end. So if y'all don't care about the little updates, I'll also put some pictures. I got some pictures of the two youngest ones that I had knit for the dress and the little Henley. The oldest one, Azalea, she refuses to wear leggings or tights. And it has been too cold to wear up there with nothing on her legs, so she hasn't worn it to church or anywhere to get a picture yet. But I will put the two up that I do have, and I'll put all that at the end in case y'all are like, yeah, whatever. I'll also wait for my Didgie stories until then. All right, so let's kick this thing off. If y'all have hung out with me for this long, go ahead and hit subscribe because that means y'all are in for the long haul. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit subscribe and like this video. And if you stayed with me through all of that blather, yay, let's get right into what you're actually here for, which is my knitting. And guys, this is the next test knit that is due. And of course, because I didn't put my stitch stoppers in, I just dropped a couple of stitches, so I had to put that back on. But guys, what I did was I got the sleeve done. So I have one sleeve complete, and you can see that it goes into a 1x1 ribbing here at the end, and so it goes straight from the 2x2 ribbing into the 1x1. I didn't know whether I was going to actually like that or not. Looking at it on camera, I actually do like that. If I were the designer, I might have gone straight from one of the stockinette. I might have ended it earlier and done the 2 stockinette rows and then gone into ribbing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try that whenever I make mine and see which one I like better. But I did get that sleeve done, so now I've just got one more sleeve to do, and then I've done almost an entire ball of yarn on the body, so I've got more of the body done, as you can tell. I tried this on last night. It hits me a little bit above the waist of my jeans, so obviously it's got to be a lot longer for Michelle. I did some math. I need actually 7.2 of these repeats, and I've got a little bit right here where it split for sleeves in the middle of one, so, or not split for sleeves, it joined in the round in the middle of one, so I'll count that as the 0.2, and so then I need 7 of these, and I've got 2 working on the third one, so I've got a ways to go. And then I've got this sleeve. As soon as I get done with this ball of yarn, then I will do the sleeve, and I'll knock this one out, and then I will finish the body. And this is due February the 6th. She did move out the date. It was due yesterday. And right, if I had done nothing but knit on this, maybe I could have gotten it done by yesterday, but I really don't think I could have. So I was really glad to see that she'd moved the date out. Apparently I wasn't the only one that was having trouble meeting that deadline. So she moved it out to the 6th. So this is due the 6th. And this is the Woody Pullover by Lehman Crafted or Rita Dowd. And guys, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. You can see how it blocks out. I actually steam blocked this up here in order for it to, you know, to see like how much length I had and stuff. Steam blocking doesn't do as good as wet blocking, but it does give you an idea. And then I wet block this back. You can see just how beautiful that pattern is and how beautiful it's gonna block out. And Michelle tried it on a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely stunning, guys. This is stunning. I cannot wait to get this done. And then I have decided, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do mine in purple. I don't have a lot of purple stuff, but I think that I'm going to do mine in purple. I am going to use the Cascade 220. I'm trying to get that down in there so that y'all can actually see what that neckline looks like. Look at that beautiful, beautiful V-neck neckline, and it does sit a little bit higher, so no worry about modesty or anything. I do appreciate that. I enjoy that, and I really, really love this fit. So did Michelle. Absolutely stunning. I'm hoping that next week this will be a finished object. but I'm not going to promise anything because we all know things happen, right? So hopefully next week I will be able to wear this. We shall see. And again, this is the Woody Pullover by Lehman Crafted, or Read It Out, and I'm making that for my best friend, Michelle. And then next up is the Lynx Pullover, and it is by the Crayabea. And you can see here, I actually did work on this a little bit at Diggie's house. I got the collar done. And to me, when you put a collar on, you can tell this is real yarn because it had some hay in it. But when you put a collar on, it just really makes it start looking like an actual finished object. I might have made this a little tight whenever I sewed it down because, and I'm going to take my glasses off and do this so that y'all can see, I do have to kind of work it over my head, right? But I think once I get it over my head, let me see, I think that it fits well. And I think I'm going to like this. So I don't think I'm going to pull this out and redo it. But the good thing is, because you do pick up the stitches and you knit it and then you bind it off and then you sew it down, I can take it out. I could even cut it and just rip it out, but I'm not going to do that. All right, and then get that thing over my big old head there, but I'm not planning on ripping it out. I can handle, you know, having it a little bit tight, putting it on. And this, again, is the Lynx Pullover. I did do a little bit of the body as well. I think I've got about 2 inches left of just plain stockinette before I start the second thing of color. I am going to do the next color work section for sure, but I don't think that I'm going to complete the body until I actually do the sleeves, because I'll tell you, I just think that when you complete the sleeves first, it makes a difference on how long you want the body, because it kind of pulls it up a little bit. So I am a firm believer you should finish your sleeves first and then finish your body. Now, having said that, I'm sorry, I had like something random in my mouth, some kind of fluff or something that was really bothering me. Anyway, it's one of those days. It's going to be one of those episodes because we all know I'm not going back and cutting that out. So, Lynx Pullover, Crayabea. This is due March the 2nd. So, I, really need to work on this as well. So, I've been primarily working on those. But, guys, let me tell you, oh my goodness. But let me tell you what I made this out of first. This is made out of Drops Lima, and the colorways are Petrol and Ruby Wine. And I just love this color combination. I did steal these from other projects that I had, other color work projects, so I will have to replace the yarn. That's okay. That is absolutely okay, because oh my gosh, I knew whenever I put these colors together, I was like, oh, because I was just going to steal the whole project of color work, and both of them had a light one. I think the Ruby Wine has like a white, and then this one had a chalk, which is kind of not really cream, maybe just a little bit off-white. And so I had those. I was just going to steal the entire thing and do that. And then I put these two together, and I was like, oh no, those two belong together. Those have to go together. So that's how I wound up with this. So now I'll have 2 projects that I have to replace some yarn in instead of just replacing one full project. It'll be basically the same amount of yarn. So that is this. Should have this done in no time at all. As soon as I get this one off my needles, this will become my primary focus. And then it should come off the needles within the next 2.5 weeks or so. All right. But let me tell you, there's a distractor in the house. There's one that says, ooh, please pick me up, knit me, knit me, knit me. And that is this little sucker right here. Look at this. And I told y'all last week, when I complete something, I'm picking this up and knitting some. So I did get completely done with where she says option 2 for the body is. This should be the long version. Guys, this is the long version. Okay, I'm going to try to really hold this up. That's not very long. I don't know about y'all, but that's not very long. Now, I will say, I've seen other ones, because Yeji of Maidco, I think is her YouTube. I'll link it. And then Ruby and Pearls. And Ruby and Pearl, I think that her stuff is because of her dog names. But anyway, they both have podcasts. They did a buddy knit on this. And their row gauge is visibly longer than what mine is. I never meet row gauge. I told y'all that last week. I never beat row gauge, but guys, this fits wonderfully. And so I got done with that part and I ran out of the silver yarn. So I was going to have to not replace it, but add another ball. And so I decided that I would go ahead and just pick up for the collar and start on that. So these are starting to pop up on YouTube's. Guys, oh my word, this is such a beautiful sweater. This is the Wintersoul by Adorable Knits, or Dorothy. I don't know if it's pronounced officers or officiers. I honestly do not know. I think that she is either German or French. I'm not going to swear to either one of those, but I think that may be the case. But this, not only is this one of the most beautiful patterns I have seen. I'm telling you, when she posted this on Instagram, I gasped and said, oh my word, I have to knit that. If I do nothing else in my knitting career, I have to knit that sweater. Oh, this just called out to me. And she did this colorway, this kind of silvery or whitish background, and then a dark gray or black. And I was like, I'm not going to improve on perfection, so I have to have that colorway. I looked as soon as the test call went out, or actually I think that she said what yarn she was knitting it out of. And I don't remember if I waited for the test call to figure out how much yarn I needed, or if I just figured out how much yarn I thought I would need and ordered it. I honestly do not remember, but I know immediately I went to my computer and I was like, I have to order yarn for this. And I bought the Drops Air, and this is, can't believe I forgot. I think it may be Morning Haze and Anthracite. I don't remember the name of the silver one, but it is beautiful. I think it is Morning Haze, but it's just this beautiful, beautiful silver color. I wouldn't mind a sweater, all over sweater out of this color, and so I will probably wind up getting some more of this. But I went ahead and purchased this, and I was like, if I get picked to test knit, I've got it. If I don't get picked to test knit, I've got it for as soon as it's released. I did not get picked to test knit, so I bought it the day it was released, and I cast on a few weeks later. And Dorothy is doing a knit along over on Instagram, and it's going through, I think, the end of March. And so you still have plenty of time to join. Just hop on over. We're a nice active bunch. I love knit alongs. I love the social aspect of it, because it's so nice to have, you know, connection with people and people that are working on the same thing and seeing all the beautiful colors and helping people if they have a problem, or being able to ask other people who are doing things and say, how did you work this out? This doesn't make sense to me. And Dorothy is in there with us, and so she answers. Guys, I told her in there, and I know that I probably sounded like that I was sucking up or something, but guys, this is maybe the most beautiful pattern I've ever seen. It is wordy, I will say that, but I use charts, so I really don't care. So I don't follow the written instructions. I use charts, so the wordiness, and I actually did kind of appreciate the wordiness up here of getting this done, because while this is a raglan, it is not a join in the round and do the raglan right away. You do some flat knitting, and you do it in a way. I've done this before. It's not very often, but I will tell you, I love the fit and I love how this turns out. So I don't understand why more designers don't do this. You start out and you start with the back, and then I think that you have a little bit here, and then you do some increases, and then you cast on, you do something up here. I don't remember. Buy the pattern, right? So it's paid pattern. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it anyway, but buy the pattern, knit the pattern, because oh my gosh, it's a great pattern. But you do something up here. Anyway, you make your raglan, and then you cast on some stitches and you join here. And then you've joined it in the round, and then you do a regular traditional standard raglan construction in the round, and then you split for sleeves and you knit on, and you do join right before you start the color work part. So all of the color work is charted. The only part I did any written instructions for was this part up here. So if you are a chart knitter, the words are not going to bother you. If you are somebody that follows words or follows written instructions, it is wordy. I don't care. If I like a pattern enough, I don't care. I can put up with all that. I just don't care. I will wade through all of the wordiness. I I will wade through patterns that are missing things, like one that I shared with y'all last year that I am going to knit again, which is the, I forget the name of the t-shirt, but it's a t-shirt that was by Johanna Calibri, Johanna Garish. That's it. She left some things out. There were things that were missing. There were things that weren't explained well. But you know what? I was on the struggle bus on that one, and I don't care. I am knitting another one because it is that beautiful. So I don't care. If I love the pattern, I'm going to put up with all the stuff, whether it's wordiness, whether it's missing stuff. And like I said, this didn't bother me because it didn't bother me because I do charts, so I'm not dealing with all the written instructions. But it is something that I heard some other people say was that the wordiness bothered them a little bit, so I thought I would mention it. I don't care. It is, and it is one of my favorite patterns. It's been really, really easy to follow. It's very potato chippy. It's very, and I'm almost done. I have started the next part, which is this diamond one right here. And so I will knit this diamond and down to past here, and then I will start the ribbing. So I've got about that much left to go on the body. This is one that I'm going to finish the body before I do the sleeves, I think. I haven't quite completely decided. I may leave the ribbing. Maybe stop it there and not do the ribbing and then do the sleeves so that then I can have another try on after the sleeves are done and make the final decision about whether I would want to do one more section of this or not. I don't think so though, because right now I tried on and it hits me right at where my jean band is, whatever the waistband of my jeans. That to me is cropped and I don't want it cropped. So adding another, you know, like I said, this much. So adding that much, because I'm going to go down to here, and then you've still got the ribbing. It will be plenty long. So like I said, I may do it before I do the sleeves. We'll see. I did want to go ahead and do the collar though, because it's just beautiful. And it is going to be a folded collar. I don't know. I haven't completely decided if I want it to be a folded collar or not, or if I just want it to be a regular collar. I will probably get it to where I would want it if I just bound off and had it just as a collar, because I really like that look. I will probably try it on and see what I think. And then if it is a little floppy, because that I do worry about, is that it'll be a little bit floppy. And a folded collar will give it more structure. If it's a little floppy when I try it on, then I will go ahead and continue knitting and then fold it over. But right now it's floppy because it's got needles on it, right, that are weighing it down. So I'll see. But, oh, guys, I just cannot talk enough about how wonderful this is. It is wonderful. Wonderful. All right. That one I'm hoping I will get done about the same time as I get the links done. Got a couple more weeks on it. And then we've got one that, oh, I was so excited. I thought I had gotten it to where I was going to split for the sleeves. I was so stinking excited. I was going to have this split for sleeves because I have done all of my 4-row repeats, right? The raglan thing, it's a little 4-row repeat. And, oh, I had done them all. I was so excited. And then I read for my size. I have 6 more rows because now I have to increase just on the body. I've increased all I'm going to increase for the sleeves. But now there's 6 rows. And I only have to do those 6 rows once. So it's not going to be that bad. But there's 6 rows where I'm increasing on the body only. All 6 rows. So that means that I've got 6 more rows to go before I can split it for sleeves. I will have it split by next week. But guys, isn't this gorgeous? I mean, it's a gorgeous color. It's a gorgeous pattern. I absolutely adore this cable. And somebody commented on my podcast that they'd done, I think it's called the Freya sweater by Inga at Knitting Traditions. And she said she had just knit her first one, but by far not her last one. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to knit that. And I may knit it out of a sport weight alpaca. Like I've got some drops alpaca in different colors and some of them aren't set to be anything. So I may knit it out of that. I don't know. I think last week I said I was going to knit it out of something else. And can't remember. It may have been that I would knit it out of some of the titty cock I held together, or maybe get some high. I don't remember what I said, but I will knit it out of something like that, something really drapey and nice, because it's a beautiful pattern as well. But for this one, this is the Knitting for Olive, and it is the blue tit, and it is, I'm holding the merino and the soft silk mohair together. And if you watched my yarn video, you know that for me, this was a 5 out of 5 stars. This combination, it truly is what dreams are made out of. I am in love with this yarn, with the combo. Individually, I think they're nice. They're a 4 out of 5 star, but you put them together and you got something really special. And so this sweater, what the sweater is this is the Zuri Sweater by Tox Knits. And she also has this in a t-shirt version and a cardigan. And the cardigan right now is free. She's got a few patterns. She's got this in the semi-sweater, the Zuri cardigan, the semi-sweater, and I think a hat pattern. She has all free, which I love it when a designer puts some stuff out for free. I think it's absolutely just so nice of them. Rachel Ilsley put out a regular, just classic sweater version. It's not a raglan. I think it may be a drop shoulder, but just a stockinette sweater pattern for free this year. I thought that was super, super nice of them to do. And so go check this out if you're on the fence about doing the Zuri pullover, because you're like, I'm not really a pullover person. She does have the cardigan, and she has a t-shirt as well. So it's a lot of fun, and I just love this cable in the raglan. I love a good raglan. I love raglans, and they don't have to be fancy. I'm good with just a classic raglan, but I love it whenever people do a little something different in the raglan, because it just adds a little interest. So, and this sweater is no different, and I am in love with this. I will have this split for sleeves next week, and whoo, I cannot wait to split it for sleeves and get it on my body and just see, because ooh, I love this color. I think this color looks good on me. I am a winter. I laugh whenever all these people are talking about getting their colors done, because guys, I got mine done when I was a teenager. This is nothing new. We did this. It was called Color Me Beautiful, I believe. And I had my colors done, and I am a winter. I am a strong winter. Like bright red lipstick, fuchsia lipstick, hot pink, this beautiful blue, neon colors look really good on me, deep chocolate browns. I know the colors I can wear. I've known the colors I can wear since I was a teenager. I do wear colors. They don't fall into that palette, but it's always because it's something that I'm just in love with. And by golly, I'm going to wear it because I've said it before. If I like it, who gives a hoot if anybody else does? I don't care that they have to look at me. I'm going to wear what I like. So, and this is no different, but this one is one of my colors. And I cannot wait to get this done. This is one of those, guys, this was kind of languishing. I had just barely started the yoke. And when I did my first Whip Wednesday on TikTok, which was a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh my gosh, this has to go in rotation, and look at me now. I'm about to split for sleeves. So I have been a busy little beaver. So you may be going, okay, Melissa, that's 4. And you're fixing a transition and talk about 2 new ones. What the heck? I can count. That's not 5 active whips, like you said. Well, I do have 5 active whips because I'm doing a buddy knit with my friend Dana. And we are doing the Edinburgh sweater. We're using the Cardiff cashmere like it calls for. I'm doing the blue and white. I did show y'all at the beginning, and then I told y'all I'm not going to show y'all anymore. If you're really interested and you got TikTok, I do show it on my Whip Wednesday. So you can always go take a peek there. But I'm doing a vlog, and I'm going to actually take you through the making of it. So I'm doing a little vlog. I did record myself this weekend at my brother's house knitting on it. So that is my 5th active whip. But I'm not showing it here because I am going to have a video, you know, all about it. Now, I told y'all before, I've got 3 little ones in Massachusetts that I knit for. Y'all saw me. If you've been watching, you've seen the dresses I knit for the little girls, and then the little Henley for the little boy. And I told y'all then, we got another one coming, and she's due this month. I'm expecting any day now to hear that Anna had the baby and find out what the baby's name is and everything. So, woo, guys, I got to knit. I got to knit if I'm going to get this baby a sweater. Or not a sweater, a dress. And a blanket. So, I have cast on, and this blanket pattern is called And Baby Makes 3. And It is one, I'm going to pop a picture up here. I don't remember who it's by, but it came out of the 60 Quick Knit Baby Blanket book. And it features Cascade yarns. Well, this is a Cascade yarn. This is Pacific, so it is an acrylic superwash blend. They call for, I think, a little bit heavier because it's the Cascade 128 superwash that they call for, but I'm using this. And I'm just going to use one solid color. It has 3 colors. I'm not doing that. I'm just using one color. It's a nice textured blanket. And I have 2 balls of this, and she does not have any more of this color. So I got this at Letha's. She does not have any more of this color. She could probably order some, but I need to get this knit and out the door and winging its way to Massachusetts. So I'm just going to knit however much I can make. It's just a textured blanket. I can knit it. I knit 5. The border is knit 5 rows. So I'm just going to knit until I get to the end. Or, I mean, if I knit, it says I think I'm supposed to repeat. It's a 16 row repeat, and I think I'm supposed to do it like 5 times. If I get those 5 and then I knit 5 rows and we're all good and I've got the length that I'm supposed to have, yay! But if I see I'm only going to have 4, then I'll have 4 and I'll knit 5 rows. It will be what it will be. They don't... I get it because I think blankets, I think it's been found that blankets can smother infants or whatever. I don't know. We always put a blanket on our babies. We just did. Of course, my babies slept on their stomach as well, right? So things have definitely changed and they don't put blankets in the cribs. So this is not going to go in the crib with the baby. It's going to be like on the floor for her to lay on. It may cover her up in her car seat, stuff like that. So the length is not quite as important because we're not making it to fit a crib. All right, so I'll just knit until I get done with it. But it's a nice little pattern blanket, and all of these babies have gotten blankets for me. The oldest one, Azalea, had just started knitting, and Anna wound up pregnant, and I say wound up pregnant, they meant to get pregnant. I mean, she and her husband planned all of these babies, right? So anyway, she was pregnant. I found out my youth director was pregnant, and I just started knitting. I was like, oh, I need to make a little blanket. So I made a little blanket out of this orange speckly yarn, and I gave it to Anna right before I left. That was my first time of leaving Massachusetts, and I was headed to San Antonio. So I made the blanket and I gave it to her. We weren't super close. I mean, she knew who I was, obviously, right? I wasn't volunteering that time for youth group, but I knew who she was. She knew who I was. We would say hi and all this, but we weren't like close like we are now. And so she is the youth pastor. So I gave her the blanket. Then I wound up leaving. I went to San Antonio. When I came back, she either was pregnant with or had just had, well, I was only gone for a year. So I guess she was pregnant with Emberlyn. And so, of course, I made Emberlyn a baby blanket as well. And then before I left, I made them matching sweaters, the 2 girls. So anyway, this is going to be a really long story. Sorry. But they've all had baby blankets, and little man, he got a baby blanket with sailboats and stuff. Emberlyn's had different motifs on it. And then this one will have a textured blanket. And that is to say that I have knit for them across the years. They are so, so knit worthy. I got the sweetest little, not unboxing, but gift opening of them. And all of them, even the little man, they were all so excited. They knew who it was from. They were so excited. They thanked me. It was so, so sweet. They are so knit worthy. They're an absolute knit worthy family. And I mean, I have made the entire family matching sweaters. That's how much I love this family. I volunteered for the youth group when I went back, and I also was in the nursery. So I got to, you know, be with the babies, and then got to know Anna more by volunteering. And I love this family. This is like my little adopted family there. I absolutely adore them. And they are so knit worthy. So little one is going to get this blanket. And I cast both of these on today. She's also going to get a little dress. It is the pumpkin dress. I will throw that up here. It is free on the Hobie website. And I cast this on. Okay. I may be pulling this out. This is the neck. Now, it's so tiny. I'm not sure it's going to fit over the baby's head. I'm a little worried, but I cast on 90 stitches. That's what it told me to do, and it's supposed to be in fingering weight yarn. So on a size 1.5 US needle, which is like a 2 millimeter or something. What is it? It is a 2.5 millimeter. So it's little tiny. And I mean, I'm going to get the neck done, but I mean, I'm like going, oh, it will stretch some, but guys, what do y'all think? Is this going over baby's head? I'm making the 3 to 6 month. I'm thinking I might actually need to maybe do, I don't know. I don't know if I should do the neck, like maybe go a couple of sizes up for the neck and then just increase to the size that it needs to be for the 3 to 6 month, or if maybe I need to move up to like a size 2 to do this. I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, I am going to finish the neckline. I'm supposed to do like, I don't know, 1.5 inches of neck, or 2.5 millimeters or centimeters, or I don't remember. Anyway, not 2 inches. I don't know, not a lot. So I will finish this and then I'll move to the 2.5 millimeter needles that it tells me to, and I will increase to where it needs to be. And then I will check and see if I think a baby's head can get in there, because I certainly do not want to give her something that she cannot get over the baby's head. So let me know what you think. But yeah, I have just started this. So this is the little pumpkin dress, but I'm not going to take it. You'll see on the dress, it kind of comes in because it is pumpkin dress. So it increases, you knit all this stuff. It's a 2x2 rib. You knit all this stuff and then it comes in to kind of make that pumpkin shape. I'm not going to come in. It's just going to be a plain dress. So we'll see. I may have to pull this out and start it over. We shall see. But I am using, for this, I'm using the leftovers. This is the skein I had left of Letha's hand dyed that I call Pretty in Pink. She did not have colorways at that time, but this is what I used to do my sorrel sweater. And I held it with mohair for my sorrel sweater. Obviously, I'm not holding mohair with the baby sweater, but I'm just using this. It's a superwash sock, so it's got some nylon in it, and it'll be able to be washed and dried and great for a baby. So that is what I've got on my needles. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm going to put some pictures up here. I went down to Little Rock, and I got down there. I gave my brother his sweater, and he really, really liked it. And so he tried it on. I've got some still shots, and I'll stick those up here. And I've got a video of him, and he is so funny because I was like, do a 360. And so he's like, okay. And he does a little, like, kind of, not stomping around, but kind of, you know, like you'd expect a dude to do. And so he did a little 360 for me. It fits him really, really nice. And he wore it to work yesterday. And he sent me a selfie of him wearing it at work yesterday. And he said he loved it. He said the office is usually cold, so he was able to wear this and not have to wear a jacket in the office. So he was pretty excited about that. And he said he really, really liked it. He liked the feel of it. It was really nice. You know, it's nice and soft. I made it out of the Holsgarn Tides held together, and that's their silk wool blend. And it is a really nice yarn. And so he worked to work yesterday. And so now we're going to plan his next sweater. He may actually have to sign up for a Ravelry account to be able to see my favorites for the men's, because I've got I think 31 men's patterns saved, and these are ones that I would like to knit that I like the look of. And so he can pick any of those that he wants, and then we'll figure out yarn choices from there for him. And I will start on his next one. He is probably coming up here. I think he's coming up in maybe March. I'm going back down there for sure in June. I don't know if I'll get back down there before then, but we had such a wonderful time with Didgie. We went over, we hung out with her all day, we went and had lunch, and then she wanted to drive around downtown Little Rock because she used to work downtown, and so she wanted to go down to the river market, and we just drove around. We drove all over the place by where she used to work, and we drove by like the President Clinton Library, and just drove around the river market and just drove around downtown so that she could see all the places that she used to be at. And my dad used to work downtown, so it was kind of a memory for me and my brother as well, being down there. And we just kind of walked down memory lane, had a really nice time just driving around and spending time together. And then we went back to her place and spent a little bit more time. And I'll tell you, by the time we left, she was ready for us to leave. But I got to that one last, I was like, I've only got like this much left to do. I've got to finish this row before we can leave. But she was ready for us to go. But she did ask us if, when I came back down the next time, and we're trying to do it over a holiday weekend so I don't have to take time off and not get paid. So it's going to be June. We'll do it over Juneteenth because I'll be off that day. And so will my brother. We were going to do it over Memorial Day, but her daughter's actually coming in. She's got some doctor's visits that next week, so her daughter's coming in that weekend. But we'll do it in June. And what we're going to do, she is from El Dorado, Arkansas. That's where she grew up. And it's, I'm trying to think. I know she got married, and then her husband was a pastor, so they moved around. And I don't remember where all they lived, but I think they started out in El Dorado. I know she lived there. She grew up in El Dorado. My mother also grew up in El Dorado. And my great aunt, this is my grandfather's sister. And somehow these genes, because my grandfather died at 48 years old of a heart attack. So my mother died at 66 of a heart attack, her brother at 59. So lots of like heart disease issues there. None of us, though, apparently have gotten it. My doctor knows the history because he was my mom's doctor as well. So we keep track of me. I have shown no signs. My brother has shown no signs. My cousin has shown no signs. So I don't know. And my great aunt, both of them, she had a sister. Her name was Shasha. Well, her name was not Shasha, but that's what we called her. Diggie's real name is not Didgie either. She's Anna Jane, and Shasha was Phaedra. And so, but Shasha lived to be, I think, in her 90s. Because Shasha was married when Didgie was like 11. So there was quite an age difference. I think Shasha lived into her 90s, maybe close to 100. And Didgie will be 96 in May. So, though, and my great-grandmother, Pat Mama, she lived to be in her 90s. So there's a lot of, like, good genes over there, too. And all of that to say, she lived in El Dorado, and we are going to go to El Dorado. I'm going to go down on a Friday. We'll pick her up Saturday morning. El Dorado's a couple of hours from Little Rock. We'll drive down to El Dorado, and we will spend the night. And, you know, we'll just do the walk down memory lane. We'll take her wherever she wants to go and all of that. And then we'll come back on Sunday, and then I'll head back up here either later that evening or Monday morning. So, had an absolutely fabulous time. I'll put a picture of her up here, too. I got a picture of her sitting there, and I got a picture because of the fact that I wanted to take a picture that there's a painting behind her, or next to her where she sits, that is this beautiful painting of this woman. It is gorgeous. I'm not really into art, but this is one that if she gave it to me, if she left it to me, I would be honored because, oh my gosh, but Shasha painted that. Shasha was an artist. She was a beautiful artist. She painted, and that is one of her pictures. And Didgie got it when Shasha died. So it's beautiful. I took the picture to get that painting, but it's a good picture of Didgie, so I'll throw that up here. And then finally, I did get some pictures of Emberlyn wearing her dress at church and Little Man wearing his little Henley. So I will put some pictures of those up here too. They will have little smiley faces over their face for privacy, but I'll put those up here. Such cute little kids. And like I said, I just don't have one from Azalea yet because she won't wear tights or leggings under her dress. So she hasn't been able to wear it because it's been too cold. All right. Well, guys, if y'all have stuck with me through all of that, through the whole rambling storytelling, then you must really enjoy this channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you like the video. And guys, give me some feedback on if you think that the head, like the neck, is going to be too small to get over a baby's head. And let me know what you think about the sleeves. Should I shorten them or not? I mean, I kind of like them. So I don't know if I'm going to or not. Let me know what y'all think. And guys, with that, happy knitting. I hope y'all have a wonderful week and a very productive knitting week. All right. And I will see y'all next week. And when this comes out, I will draw that day for the winner. So somebody will be getting a pattern, and then I will announce it next week.